today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this home called Rose Avenue. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I will also go ahead and put a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download the build that way. So I actually haven't finished this build entirely, like the screenshots and everything, so I'm going to tell you the information about the build, but the price, which at the minute it's at 213,932 simoleons, that might change a little bit once you actually see the version on the gallery, because what I tend to do is, at the end of a build, I'll go back through and look at the pack list of what was in that build, and if, say for example, well, I'll give you an actual example, from this build today, the only item I used from Get Famous was the window planter boxes, so I'm going to go back through and remove those, and there are like the hot tub as well, which I only used from that Perfect Patio stuff pack, so I'll go ahead and remove that, and just, you know, if there's one item used from one pack, I'll just remove it to reduce the pack list and make it easier for you to download. So I haven't done that yet, meaning I don't actually have the full actual price, because I have a chance to do the voiceover now, but I haven't had the chance to, you know, go back through and do all that extra end details of finishing up a build. So other things about this build, it has 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and I built it on a 40 by 40 lot in Brindleton Bay, where the Heckins household is, and in terms of what packs I used today, again, I've got to go back through and remove them, but excluding the ones that I'm going to remove, the final pack list should be Seasons, Cats and Dogs, City Living and Get Together for the expansions, and then for the game packs, I just use Jungle Adventure and Parenthood, and for stuff packs it's just Laundry Day. So, you know, that isn't a crazy amount of packs, which is great. This is only, like I said, a 4-bedroom family home, even though it is on a big lot, it isn't like a huge build or anything, which is, you know, nice, because, you know, I do a lot of big builds, and I did do a starter home the other day, because I know people like to see a bit of, you know, variation, not just all mansions. Even though most people like to see mansions, I know some people like to see the smaller homes, so here we are. Even though this could probably be cast as a mansion, if you like, you could even, like, you know, add a basement in and put a few more bedrooms, because it does kind of look like a mansion, I would say, because it does look pretty big actually, but it isn't that big really. And yeah, so I also got a little garage there, which I did go ahead and change into a gym like normal, but that garage, since as you can actually see it's on a diagonal, that was actually kind of the main sort of starting point and inspiration for this build, because as you know, I don't really you know, stick to floor plans or anything in my builds. I just tend to build from scratch, you know, by myself. The only things I have trouble with is when I'm actually just starting the build, like putting the first wall in, trying to figure out how I'm going to actually just start it and get the first, you know, wall in really, or something like that. So when that happens, I normally do have a quick glance at some photos to see if there's anything that kind of makes me think of something I can start with. And I saw one picture where there's this house and it had a diagonal garage, and that's literally all I needed, and it made me come up with this build. So I was going to go ahead and put the kind of reference picture of that in the description, but I'm kind of thinking now it looks nothing like the actual home. It just has the diagonal garage like I did, and like a big swooping kind of driveway, which I couldn't really do in this lot because it's only 40 by 40, but I had that as well. But, you know, apart from that, that's all I took from that picture, so I suppose there's no point me showing you it, because it's kind of totally different. And I didn't go ahead and put any bird's eye view pictures of the building at the end either today. I know some people find that useful, but the mod I use, which is the free build mode camera, to let me do that, is still not working for me for some reason. It's totally messing up my game, so I don't know what's happening with that, but as you probably know, recently I have been trying to put all my builds onto console, so I did start with the Sims team putting over some builds a couple of months ago, and now I'm trying to do it every update that comes to console, so I can't say when the next update is coming, but I will have a lot more builds coming within the next update as well, so stay on the lookout for that. I do normally make like a video kind of telling you the 10 builds and the details about them, so that'll be coming soon hopefully. And yeah, so this build didn't take me that long to make actually. It took me 55 minutes in total to do, which is no time at all. I thought it took me much longer for some reason, and when I was kind of going in to edit this build and putting all the kind of video files into my editor, I thought I'd missed something out, because it only turned out to be 55 minutes, because I felt like it was taking so long to build it. Like I just couldn't make my mind up on some things, but I don't know why that happened, but it didn't actually take that long overall, so that was great. Because, you know, even though, you know, I do love building in The Sims, it's the main thing I do, it's still, you know, and I think a lot of people still have this who do, like, you know, builds full time, is even, you know, as much as you love it, it still can get a little bit repetitive sometimes, and it can drag on a little bit. So, you know, I don't think it sounds that great when you're sitting here for like 4 hours, you know, building. It can just the sound of that, doesn't sound that great sometimes, but so when a build doesn't take that long, it's sometimes kind of nice. So in terms of why I haven't fully edited this build yet is because, like I've seen before, I do actually have the chance now to get the voiceover done, because I don't really like it when people are like, everybody's home and they're listening to me doing the voiceover. It kind of puts me off a little bit, so I do have a chance to do the voiceover now, but I haven't had a chance to fully edit the build yet, meaning I haven't done the screenshots yet. I mean, for you, this won't matter because everything will be finished by the time you see this video. But what I'm going to do is actually, well, I'm planning on kind of taking the screenshots in autumn. So as you can see, everything is in summer now, and that was going to be the original plan. And I just started, building in summer. But then I was kind of thinking when I was building this that it's nearly coming up to changing over to autumn, which I think is going to be on the 23rd of September, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this build is still going up before that. Yeah, I think this is going up on the 18th. But anyway, so I thought, it'd be nice to maybe start doing some more autumn builds. That's my favourite season. I love doing autumn themed builds in The Sims 4, and it doesn't feel, as weird like doing them in the middle of summer now, so I kind of have an excuse to do them. So kind of halfway through, I decided to make this an autumn themed build. So I kind of, at that point, done all the exterior, meaning, it has the red siding, which kind of made me think of the autumn theme from Cats and Dogs, but I had all the white trims on and stuff. And then when I think of autumn, for some reason I think of like really like dark browns and stuff on the interior, so that's what I went ahead and did. So there is a bit of a contrast between the exterior and interior, which personally I think it sometimes doesn't look that right. I think only it can be kind of hard to pull off. I've only done like one like build where I've intentionally like really tried to make the contrast look good, and I think it was actually built on the same lot. I think it was called like White Ridge Avenue or something along those lines. I did it quite a few months ago, and within that build I did try to do actual kind of contrast and build in terms of doing, I think I did like more of like a lighter coloured siding and like black trims, so I find it really difficult to do really good contrasts and colours and builds for some reason, so I did that kind of unintentionally today, and I still think it kind of looks alright, so hopefully you don't mind about that. And yes, so you would have actually just saw before as well, I did include a bit of footage of me doing the floor plan and choosing out the wall coverings and stuff for the interior. Now normally I don't include that because a lot of the time when I'm doing mansion builds, I try to keep all my videos within 15 minutes long, so especially with mansions where it's a bit of a bigger build, there's a lot more going on. I don't always have the time to include that sort of thing because I know it's kind of useful for some people, but for me personally, floor plans do take a little bit more thought towards them, and I'm kind of just spinning the camera around all over the place trying to work it out, which means for the speed build it's not always that interesting, and also it kind of takes up a lot of time within the speed build video itself, so most of the time I do have to take that out. But today, as I said, this build only took me 55 minutes, so I showed you a little bit of that. So this is actually my second time doing this voiceover. I recorded probably up until about this point, and then I realised that I had my microphone in the wrong settings, so I kind of started the voiceover all over again. Now we're 8 minutes in, so I'm hoping not having to restart it again. But I just realised that it was like a really like sort of low humming sound within the background for the last couple of minutes, so just when I was playing back that last little bit, so hopefully you didn't notice that too much. But what happened, because I use a Blue Yeti microphone, just in case you don't know. Actually, I have all my sort of equipment and stuff in the description if you want to learn about that, because I know I get questions sometimes. So yeah, I use a Blue Yeti. I had it on the setting where it's kind of, if you have a Blue Yeti, it's kind of where the sort of like the audio things like the full circle, so it kind of picks up sound from all around it, when normally right now I have it where it's just kind of directly on my face, which is better because it takes out a bit of background noise, so hopefully the sound won't have any more issues throughout this build. So we're now just working on the garage area, nothing too exciting about this, it's kind of, I always change garages into gyms. I just find it's a good use of the space, and it's another activity for your Sims to do as well, so I just kind of do that in this room. And I just went for a lot of base game sort of gym equipment today, because a lot of the time I do use fitness stuff, and sometimes from fitness stuff all I use from that pack is the treadmill, so when I do that it's kind of like, oh well, I might as well just take this pack out the build because I can just use the base game one, which is just fine. So I went ahead and did that today, and instead of using Idle Living as well, I tried to reduce packs again where I could, so I just went ahead and used the base game loungers there by the pool. They don't look as good, but they get the job done. And then from Perfect Patio there, that was the only item I used, which was a hot tub, so I think I will go ahead and remove that as well. There will be the space for it if you want to go ahead and put it in, but for the sake of one item, I might as well just go ahead and remove that to make it a little bit easier for people to download on the gallery. And then here we are working on the living room. I do this a lot in my builds, I've noticed, where I kind of make like a separate sort of like, guest house looking thing on the side of my builds. I've noticed I do that quite a lot. So what I did for this one here, I changed this into the living room. And since it is separate from the main part of the house, I did go ahead and put another bathroom over here. So there's a little TV area over here. There is also a grand piano, just as another activity to do, really. It's a good space filler too, just a building tip there. And I think I put one of those sort of card tables in from Get Together. Again, those are good space fillers, just another tip. And then for the kitchen and dining room in today's build, as you saw, I did actually do it next to the front door, which is a really weird place to put it. I don't really remember doing that too much in my builds. Like, I don't really remember if I've done that before. I mean, I probably have, but not anytime recently that I can think of, like having the kitchen within like the entryway of the home. I know it's a little bit odd, but you know, it worked out fine. It just is a little bit different from my normal builds. I was trying to do things a little bit differently today where I could, especially in the bedrooms here, which we're now working on. Like I said, there are 4 of them. And you know what I always do, not really for this particular room, it's more applies to the double bedrooms, but I always, you know, do like the same bed, and I only have, you know, the 2 end tables which have, you know, a lamp on them on either side, and I don't really do anything else. So I did try to do, you know, to switch things up. Instead of putting the lamps on the actual end tables, I'll kind of fill it up with some clutter and stuff, and then put like some wall sconces over the bed instead, just as something to make it look a little bit different, because I know bedroom's one of the things that I really struggle to kind of switch up every build. I know I do a lot of builds, and I know sometimes, and I notice this myself, and I know other people notice it as well, but you know, sometimes it can get a little bit repetitive, but I know a lot of builders are like that, and sometimes it can be a struggle when you've got limits, you know, here and there within the game of what you can do, and you know, doing 3 builds a week as well can sometimes make things end up having similarities between a build here and there every now and again. And also as well, you know, I want to do things, and I know a lot of builders are like this as well, but you want to also enjoy what you're building too. So I could do things, you know, every build which, you know, are completely different and new to the channel, but I don't enjoy making them. And there's these things here which are like family homes and suburban style things that I really love to build, but it means that sometimes it may be a little repetitive here and there. So I think, you know, I've just got to make a balance of things. I did also go ahead and put a laundry in this build as well. As I said, I did use laundry stuff in this build. Normally I only use the rugs from that pack. I don't know why, but I love those rugs, so I always end up using those. But I thought, you know, since I'm using that pack and I love those rugs, I'll go ahead and put laundry in today's build. So since this home is on the smaller side, I did just go ahead and use the stack version of the washer and dryer, and went ahead and put that in one of the bathrooms downstairs. So that's what I did there. And you know, so it makes it really easy actually if you want to not use laundry, because I know not everyone likes to play with it. So you can just go ahead and remove those 2 items, and you could even remove the hampers if you want, but I think, you know, they make a good decoration as well, so you could leave those in. And now we're just working on one of the rooms here, which I would probably say this is like a teen girls room, but really it's nothing that's specific in today's build. I didn't want to kind of make anything too personalized or anything. So there is a single bedroom which could maybe be for a kid, and there's also this one here which, like I just said, could be for a teen girl, but you know, that's up to you. And again, like I was saying before, I was trying to switch up the rooms where I could, so I didn't use end tables for this beside this bed here. I just went ahead and put one of those kind of console tables in from Dine Out, I think it was, but like I said before, that's one of the packs that I will remove, so that won't be there, but I'll, you know, replace it with something similar, I think. And we just got this room here, which I think would be the master bedroom, because it does have an ensuite bathroom and a little seating area in this one as well. And that's pretty much it for today's build. So I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of it. If you have any more suggestions or anything else that you want to see on the channel next, that'd be really helpful to hear. You can go ahead and download this build from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1. Make sure to leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!